everybody, it's your boys James and Gary with Team IBB, and we are coming at you live right here, right now, with a brand new episode of the hashtag IBB Fortunate. Oh yes. So James, if you could just tell everybody, all of our viewers here today, exactly what the hashtag IBB Fortunate is all about.
We are very fortunate. We're very lucky to be in the position we're in life, in our career, with our families. But it's all because people were sharing their cookies or their nuggets of knowledge.
Oh, I like cookies.
And their cookies of knowledge. And our goal is we don't know what's in here, but whatever comes out, hopefully, we'll be able to share something with you that we've learned through our failures and successes and all of the above. But we want to give back to you somehow. And share the fortunateness that we've had in our lives. So, without further ado, let's get after it.
Yeah. So there's only one rule.
One important rule.
What's that rule, James?
You gotta eat it
Before you read it. Oh. Well, am I gonna get this part? It's got his dirty fingerprints all over.
I washed my hands last week. You're fine. Here you go. Friends don't have friendship. There's no germs in friendship. True story.
So, why don't you tell the audience why we're so fancy today? And then we'll read this to them. So why are we so fancy today, James?
Oh, we won.
What did we win?
We won. We were the number one. The Cleveland area offices were number one in the country. So teamwork makes the dream work. So special thanks to everybody in our Cleveland offices that made that happen, and then also to our Willoughby location where we are directly number one office in the country.
In the country!
So
really, really, really cool.
Yeah,
hey,
so
high five for that.
Woo! So that's why we're fancy. That's why we look like adults today.
Whoa!
So, all right, what is it?
All right.
I don't have my glasses. What does it say?
So let's get back to the real important
the real
stuff.
deal.
Learn from how people in the arts react to criticism. Learn from how people in the arts react to criticism.
All right, so I want to tie this to...
Let me put that right here, buddy.
When I first started,
okay,
I had no industry knowledge. I had no business knowledge. My nickname was The Rookie.
The Rook, yeah.
And they turned these like I was green. I knew nothing about anything. Living in grandma's basement, so it was awesome. But I was, as you and I, our stories is, we were artists that were forced into the business world. The arts cast us out when we weren't good enough. So, but I was a lead singer in a band, but I had to endure so much criticism as a singer. I remember the first show, one of my good friends from high school came up to me. He's like, and I was all excited. We finished our first show. I was the lead singer for the first time. He's like, "Are you tone deaf?" And I was like, "Oh,
that's awesome."
Oh, and he was a very musical guy.
Yeah.
So like, it wasn't like some random person was like, "Are you tone deaf?" It was like someone who knows
that you respected,
who knows what tones are.
Yeah.
Like he could actually read music. Like, but like. So so in that moment I could have said, well, I guess this isn't for me, right? But I didn't. I kept going. I feel that a lot of times artists, you look at like no matter what your art is, think of your like when you're all suited up in your career world. That's got to be whatever your craft is. Make that your art. How can you use your own creativity and how can you make the mundane...
How do you make the blank page something beautiful, right?
Yeah. So how do you make the mundane fun and the fun things more fun? But like...
Fundane.
Hashtag. But no, just... And then getting, that was, fast forward to starting, what we do... for our career now is, it was just constant rejection. I tried quitting.
Oh, yeah.
I did try. I actually was trying to literally leave this office and leave forever. And
leave the entire industry, right?
I had some people help me out. But like how you react is everything. So like shout out to TK.
TK.
The E plus R equals O. So the events you can't control. anything that's happening in the outside world, but how you react determines the outcome.
Correct.
So that's where.
But you're supposed to take however you react to it, it's gonna go and coincide with what outcome do you actually want.
Right, and for us, like we're never gonna let up. We can't hang our hat on being number one in 2017. We want to be number one forever, obviously. Mm-hmm. So that's where too is like understand. Gary and myself both started. We're like, was it like in NASCAR or Indy racing? Like the slowest, the worst starts in the back, right? Before they start the race.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So basically,
yep.
Our adult lives, we started in last place.
Yeah.
So not only is it's like we didn't get to start at the same time. So keep that in mind. Is we became number one after starting and living in last place. We lived in last place for a very long time.
For a long time.
I don't care to share how long, but it's like you always look back fondly on those times too. Like you always think, oh man, we first started, like those were the days. Like no, they were awful. They were terrible. But where's your last place now? And how can you act with creativity and that artful way to become number one? So whatever you want to be number one at, for however long it takes, enjoy the ride, but like just understand that the initial criticism usually makes or breaks people. You talk about like, so I'm gonna shut up, but you were talking earlier about how self-imposed limitation. Somebody fantastic once shared
KP. This great KPZ shared this great speech, I guess we can call it. But he was just talking to everybody, and I felt like there's like probably like 40 people, 50 people in the room, something like that, and I felt like he was just talking directly to me. And he kept talking about like self-imposed limitations, and I'm like, yes,
yes, I love
that.
Them.
Is so me. That is so me. I am constantly getting in my own way, all the time, right? And I'm building these impossible obstacles that I built them, so I can't pass them, right? But like I put them there because I was scared.
Right.
And I was afraid of like what's on the other side of that, And
you're talking about reacting to criticism. So I was talking about like my buddy that like everybody that was basically talking smack, or everybody who was
there's always
talking down to me and criticizing me. That was an outward thing, but you're talking about there. Not only do you have to deal with the outward critic, the self-critic.
Yeah, the self-critic is
like. So what are some things that you do? What are some things that you do to like? Because in my mind, I just see like you look at like you and I looking in the mirror, and there's us with a stop sign, just like nope,
and it's flashing bright.
Do not
neon lights.
Nope, no goals today.
Do not pass go.
No success today.
So, well, like I figuratively shoot myself in the legs, in the feet all the time because I'm like, well, I don't like. I tell my like. Okay, so I'm trying to think of like a specific example where, off the top of my head, I don't know. But where you're trying to achieve something, but you almost feel like you just don't deserve it, or you can't be. It's like that. I can never be on that level. I can't be as cool as James, something like that. You know what I mean? But like for instance,
that's not a real example.
That's not a real example. So I'm gonna take it back real quick. I know we're a little bit running on this one, but like
no, we're good.
So you're talking about your musicianal. Listen to me. I can't even talk good.
Right.
But your musician career or lack thereof. But and so I can talk about my wrestling career. So being a champion, right, is something that is praised. And in the wrestling world, if you are holding the title and holding the belt, then you're the man. You're on top of the mountain, right? And I remember when I was working and I was in NASCAR last place, just starting out in Painesville, awesome, awesome times.
Yeah.
Painesville, Ohio, and just seeing some of these guys coming up and getting these belts, and I'm like, not for me. I'll never be the face of this company, no matter how big or small it was. Like, I'll never be that person, and I'm sitting there putting in these limitations for myself that I can only ever be this good. And it probably wasn't until I met Amanda, really, that
Amanda had
Amanda.
She like, you're stuck at this red light. Let's change it to green. So let's move forward here.
Yeah.
No.
And she helped me like realize a potential that I never saw in myself.
Yeah.
So after she like helped raise the bar, look at this is working out. After she helped raise the bar, now I had new limitations.
Your limits.
Yeah, my limitation's a little bit higher. I'm a little bit taller.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
I wish I was a baller.
Yeah.
So yes.
How we call her? I wish I had her.
So we have to be.
Dear Jimmy Band, shout out to Jimmy.
Yeah, right. We have to be very conscious of how we react to the outside criticism and definitely the inside criticism.
Inside criticism
can be killer.
That's what like said that anybody can say what they want to you, but how if your internal critic decides to decide to embrace that as truth.
Yeah,
that's when it.
Our minds play nasty tricks on us. Nasty tricks. Yep. And like so. If you hear something enough, you're going to start to believe it, right? Mm-hmm. And then so you have to be conscious that you know that stuff's not true. And you know that you can do better things. And you have to play tricks back on yourself.
Literally, it's Solve for Happy, I believe is the name of the book. But the author was talking about, he literally, he's like, you need to tell your brain, like it's like a dog. Like you tell your dog to go fetch a bulletproof, and it brings back like a bone or a stick or something, and then the main thing.
Hey!
Oh, hey!
Come on in.
No, here.
Yo, come in here, man.
Scooch over.
Oh man, hey, check this out.
Oh, all right, cool.
So real quick, I just wanted to add that what you were talking about with the dog, right? Bulletproof, great book. He talks about your Labrador brain.
Your brain's your Labrador brain, and it's just like chasing things. But like, the dog goes to fetch your bulletproof coffee, but instead it brings back a fortune or something. You're like, no, Fluffy. You have to go get Fluffy. Go get my bulletproof coffee. Or like your brain, like literally, like since it's been like. It's only been like a couple months, but that's been life changing for me because literally, I'll be on the way to work. I'll be laying in bed. I'll be wherever, hanging out with you guys. But I'll literally say out loud like, "No brain, bring me something better. Bring me some better thoughts. Bring me
your brain to provide you with better outcomes, to provide you with better reactions, to be able to sift through all that nonsense that." What do you call it? Head trash?
Head trash.
So we're doing IBB?
Fortunate, yeah.
Yeah, we're recording right
IBB Reed just coming in, hanging out.
I'm just like not looking. I'm like, Gary, who is it? What are you doing? So we talked about the outward critics, the inward critic, and how do you keep achieving higher levels of success?
Yeah.
And staying happy.
He's like, yeah, I got it.
Miss all the haters. The haterade.
Yeah. I mean, I actually use it as motivation. A lot of times, but I also take it and pause and reflect and kind of take it in all at one time and kind of just, I think a lot of it has to do with the source of who's saying it to you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't take everybody's opinion into consideration, but obviously there's certain people in my life that I really just kind of pause and reflect and say, why are they saying that?
If they're saying it, then there's gotta be some truth to it. Like
right.
It's not,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like the biggest one for me was like, when my grandfather would have conversations with me. I mean, that was just, whatever he said was, 100% going and right, because I mean he's lived through everything a million times over. And for someone like that to take 5 or 10 minutes out of their day and just kind of have a conversation over a cup of coffee or whatever it was. That just meant the world to me. you know, and I really, you know, that's kind of who raised me and brought me up. So
That's awesome,
super
man.
cool.
Yeah, you hear that? 5-10 minutes can literally mean the world to somebody. So
Yeah.
just if you have it, give it.
So let's close on this. Your grandfather. So like my grandpa, I talked about all the time. It's just like his poem it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Yeah, right.
But it's like, to know one life is breathed easier because you lived. This is to have succeeded. Like that was hanging in his office. That was how he lived, and that's the effect, that's the impact he had on my life. But like for you, is there like, whether it was a phrase, a quote, right? Was something that helped you go beyond the outward and inward criticism and critics to become the man you became?
I mean, one of the things that always sticks with me is he would always tell me just never stop learning. You know, every day, if you're
awesome.
reading something, if you're, you know, whatever, you might be in a life situation, you know, try to learn something new every day, because when you stop learning, that's when you really have a problem. To
Danger
me.
zone.
You kind of, your brain is shutting down.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I'm not a genius, but obviously, you know, I want to continue to grow as a human being and really just try to keep learning as much as I can, you know. And these guys, you know, help me and vice versa. So
you don't need to be a genius to become an expert.
Right.
I feel like, so like, you're one of our experts, and that's we're like NASCAR, IndyCar racing, where like if you suck, if you know what I'm saying, like think about like when we all got into this industry, we literally like we were that last place driver.
Yeah.
That like, okay.
We were the guys changing the tires at that point.
Well, but like you were saying, like you start in last place. Everybody else has the advantage, but you keep learning, and you keep
leveling up.
You know, you weren't born with all the money and the knowledge and the this and the that, but you can become you don't need to be a genius to become an expert.
Right.
And being an expert is pretty much that is a learned genius. So,
all right, guys.
Awesome.
No, this was
All right.
awesome. Thanks for sticking with us. We really appreciate it. Stay tuned for the next episode. And as always, until next time, stay bird proof.